Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As the title suggests, today's video is all about how to do Monica Bellucci's classic, iconic eye makeup. And if you're familiar with my other videos, you know I've done a Monica Bellucci look. So if you're looking for the full face, you can check that video out. But today's is really going to concentrate on how to do her eye makeup perfectly, as well as some tips, some tricks, problems that you can run into with trying to do this type of look, etc. Now, I will be using my Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. You guys know that this is my absolute favorite. And just for the eyelid, we're going to be going in with our nice neutrals just to create that base. So I'm just going to grab Rollin' and Dough and apply that just to the inner corner of my eye. Next, I'm just going to go in with So Bougie, or So Bougie, So Bougie. I looked it up and I still can't remember how to pronounce it. It's just not intuitive to me. And I'm just bringing this along the rest of the eye to create a nice neutral base. It's nothing fancy. And then just the Cocoa Truffle. And this one I'm just going to pop right into my crease just to really give me those deep eyes that Monica has. And if you ever have trouble putting something directly on the crease, my trick is that I just start in the corner and I look up and then I just push it right into the crease. And that way you know exactly where it's going. I don't know why I have trouble with that, but could be because I have a bit of extra skin on my eyelids. So if you have the same problem, it might work for you. Alright, so now just a nice blend. And that gives us the base for our Monica Bellucci eye. Very simple, very natural, and then we'll get into the nice, dark, sultry look. So when Monica does her iconic eye makeup, she does take the liner all the way around her eyes. And as a lot of you know, this can make your eye look smaller. So I have some tips and tricks that result in your eyes still remaining looking their full size. Now, the first tip that I have if you're doing all around eyeliner is to skip the pen, and I love these. I use them a lot. They're great for making wings. They're great for making nice curves. But when you're going all around the eye, they can tend to bunch up in areas, and I find that you don't have as much control. Plus, with a look like this, the smokier all-around eyeliner is part of what makes the look so great. So I recommend a nice matte black. I'm going in with the color Decadent here. And you just want to make sure that whatever eyeshadow you're using, it's nice and pressed. You'll notice with some eyeshadows, you try to put it on and it just flakes everywhere, and then you have black coming down your face like soot. Now, the second thing about applying a nice powder is getting a really nice brush. And a lot of the brushes that I use are very inexpensive. They're from Amazon. I buy them in bulk. I get a pack of 30 or 40 for $10. They work great. But when you apply this, you're going to want a nice angled brush. And usually a nice angled brush costs a little more money. The one I use is from Bare Minerals. It's called Expert Shadow and Liner. I actually don't like this side of the brush at all. It's very tough. But this side, as you can see, is extremely slim. And I've had this since I was a teenager, so it's been with me for more than 10 years, and it still holds up great. So I don't know if they still have this exact one, but I would definitely invest in something nice like this. Now, an example of a bad angled brush, this is one of the ones that came in a pack of brushes I got from Amazon. All the other ones are fine. This one, not good at all. You can see how much thicker that is. And I'll just quickly show you the difference in lines. So I grab some of my black powder, test it on my hand, and that's a very thick, kind of messy line. It's not going to create the look we want. Now, getting the same powder, much better, much more control. A nice brush is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of frustration. So the next thing I want to talk about before I actually start applying is eye shape. And this goes for all of my makeup looks, but you should really know your eye shape. And I have what I like to call problem areas of my eye. So if you look at it, it starts out with this nice kind of lemon looking shape, then it swoops down in what I call a very downturned eye. It's almost like a straight slope just coming down. This part is much more rounded, then it dips back up again and slopes down in the corner. So when I apply my eyeliner, I always try to give the illusion that my eyes are more classically almond shaped. And so when I apply the liner, it's always much thinner over here because I like that shape, and many of the celebrities and models and actresses that I do makeup to emulate have a very classic eye shape. And this part where it swoops down, I usually make the line thicker to pretend that my eye has that almond shape. And then again at the bottom, I don't want my eyes to drag down anymore because they are so downturned already. So again, I keep that line very thin down here. And just because the line is thin does not mean that you're not going to get that smoky effect. A nice black powder around your eyes, it's going to look smoky no matter how thin it is. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I actually apply the liner now that I've talked about it, and then we'll talk about the wing. So I just gently patted some powder onto my brush. Don't want to go in and start covering the entire brush. You just want it right on that top and leave the sides clear. That's going to save you from a lot of mishaps and mistakes and black coming in places that you don't want it. And then I just very, very gently go into that corner of the eye. This is the thinnest possible line, and already that's much more defined than over here. And I know a lot of people do one eye first and then they go to the other eye. I tend to do one section, then repeat it on the other side, and I find that this helps me remember exactly the line and shape that I did, rather than doing the whole thing and then coming over here and trying to remember, well, how did I get that shape and what did I do? So that works for me. Maybe it won't work for you. It's just a little brush of that liner right here. And see this highest part of my eye? I don't put anything on. I want that to even out with the line over here, to give that illusion of a more symmetrical eye, and again, a more lifted eye. So leave that part blank, and then right over here, start gently dabbing on that powder. And you can go as slow as you want to. And you see already, it's giving the illusion that my eye is more lifted. It's not dragging it down. This one looks more open than this one. So we're definitely getting our effect there. Sorry that my hand is creating a shadow. Let me see. See if I can turn. Maybe I can do it left-handed. Okay. So again, I do want to lift this eye. So I'm adding a little more powder above that line, just to thicken it. And as you observe your own eye shape, you'll quickly learn where you want things lifted and where you want things to just enhance the natural beauty. And I am doing this left-handed just in the hopes that you guys can see a little more clearly, which is why I'm a little slower than usual. Okay, so now let's move over here, again, leaving this highest part clear. And adding the liner nice and thick, or thick by comparison, to the sloping down part. Alright, so now I'm just going to go underneath my eyes. And again, I want to keep this nice and thin so that my eyes don't drag downward. So I'm just going right up against that lash line, as thin as we can go. And with the bottom lash line, if you find you do make a mistake, I do sometimes just take my makeup wipe and wipe off any excess, and then I can just gently pat on a little concealer to hide the fact that I've wiped my makeup off. Okay, I'll just repeat that on the other side. Okay, so now that we have our eyeliner all the way around our eyes, they are looking fairly lifted, but now we can apply the wing that will really just make those eyes look sleek, upturned, gorgeous. Now, to get that perfect cat eye that Monica has, I take my angled brush and I don't try to draw my line up here. What I'm going to do is go right to that bottom lash line, as close as I can go. Just gently rest my brush and give it a nice little brush upwards. I'm going to repeat it on the other side, nice and close. And by starting on the bottom lash line rather than going from the top, it's just going to help lift that eye. So now I'm just going to connect in a nice triangle. I do like to look down while I do this. I think it gives more control, especially if you have extra skin on your eyes like I do. It kind of prevents you from getting any weird bumps or creases. And just go nice and gradually. You can always make it thicker. We want a nice isosceles triangle, and not an obtuse one to start. I'm going to make that a little bigger. I'm just sweeping that right into the top lash line. And I know it can seem silly to just go back and forth, adding a little more, but you really do save yourself time in the long run if you don't try to do it all at once and then mess up. Especially when you're working with black. Alright, so now that we have our eyeliner and our wing in place, I'm just going to clean off my angled brush. Just on a makeup wipe. I always like to keep one of these right on the table near me, wipe off my brush as I go. And now I'm going to grab this nice shimmery color, Love and Cocoa, and I'm going to add that right below the line. And then right above that line too. And obviously if you just want the eyeliner, you can skip this step. I just think it really gives that Monica Bellucci vibe. It makes the look a little smokier, a little sultrier. All the things that I like. So now I'm just going to grab my Revlon. Again, this is a great mascara. I really like it. And it's very affordable. Now, just a quick word about applying the mascara for this look. Since Monica Bellucci has those beautiful upturned eyes, when we apply our mascara, you don't want to be going vertically up and down. That'll make your eyes look very wide, which is a great look for different looks, but for this one, sweeping those lashes so that it's pointing at about 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock rather than 12 and 6 will really help just pull that final look together. And that is how to get the perfect Monica Bellucci eye. So I hope that this helped, not just for Monica Bellucci looks, but in general, the tips and everything, trying to keep our eyes looking as big as possible while still getting that sultry look. And I'm so grateful to all of you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.